Haven't they done a great job? Doing a wonderful job. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. One kind of thing I want to say in addition to what Ben said is just to make sure we have clarity what we're going to propose to you. He mentioned that the church is going to open a line of credit. What this will look like in terms of the capital campaign, if you as a church vote to do this, we're going to ask every person in this church to commit to a 3-year pledge. What that'll sound like is this: what do you think you can give over the next 3 years? That'll be the pledges. So at the end of April, the last Sunday of April will be Victory Sunday. That'll be when we all bring our pledges. Ronnie and Hannah and I talked the other day and we said, hey, we're getting 3 envelopes for each of us. Hannah's the richest one in the house, but whatever she can give. And we just want to encourage you. We're going to talk a lot more about that as the capital campaign unfolds, but involve your kids in this. Kids love stuff like this. Hey, how can we give? How can we do this? We're going to ask you to pledge, and then we're going to work with what we have pledged and what we need, and this team will be walking each step of the way through that. So I just wanted to kind of say that as well. 2 more things. You're going to have 3 opportunities over the next 2 weeks to talk to this team. I think we've got a slide. This coming Wednesday, this coming Sunday, and the next Wednesday, with the vote being on the 28th. This coming Wednesday at 5:15 in the Go Room, and then Sunday night we're going to have another open forum. We're all committed to no one in this church being able to say, we didn't have a chance to have a voice in this. It is very important to us that you have a voice in this. We're not trying to sneak anything past you. We're not trying to trick you. This is exactly what it is. And we know that there's no benefit for us to try to get anything past you. The only way this gets done is if we do it together. So Wednesday at 5:15, Sunday we'll kind of have a little more abbreviated worship service in the evening, and we'll have another time with just for you to be able to ask questions. A lot of people, it's a lot you're hearing, and you'll think of stuff over the next few days. You come back next Sunday night. And then the following Wednesday, the 24th at 7 o'clock, wanted to put those at different times for folks who maybe can't get there at 5:15. That will be conversation times. In addition, this video and the video from this morning, your questions all will be on the app and on the website. There'll be a big banner by Wednesday of this week. So if you think, I didn't know what's going on, you can sit at home, put on your headphones, listen to all of this. We want to be very transparent and get this before you. Now, the 28th, we're going to ask you to vote. What is the motion we're going to ask you to vote on? Here's the exact wording. This will be in the bulletin this coming Sunday. We, the members of Central Baptist Church, hereby vote to proceed with the renovation construction proposals brought to the church by the long-range planning team on Sunday, January the 14th, 2018, totaling $4.29 million. A video record and images have been made available to the church on the church app and website. I realize that last sentence sounds kind of odd to go into a proposal. Our dilemma was we could not build this entire huge proposal, all the details into one proposal, so we wanted to try to anchor it into something objective. What you're voting on is what's represented in these images and what you've heard tonight. The proposal is that we would vote without discussion on the morning of the 28th because we would have offered ample discussion, we hope, throughout the 2 weeks leading up to it. Also, you will be able to submit any questions you have on email. So you can go talk to the team. You can come back next Sunday night. You can ask questions tonight. You can email questions. You can submit questions through the app. We want you to say whatever you want to say. We are in no way defensive. We are just happy and excited and are thrilled about this. Now, questions from the floor tonight. I want to give you an opportunity. I think we've got 3 youth who are going to grab 3 microphones. If they can right now grab these microphones as they move quickly right now towards the microphones. 2 youth, and then 3 youths moving towards the microphones. And if you guys don't mind, go ahead and spread out across the sanctuary. Connor, maybe you can come over here or wherever there is. Right. Okay. Raise your hand, and when you ask a question, please speak into the microphone. Also, understand that if the question is, hey, I'm good with everything, but what kind of lights are going to be in this room? That's probably a better question for Wednesday night. Not that kind of minutia, but questions that you have, by all means, ask, and someone up here will answer. Let's go. Raise your hand, and we'll come to you a person at a time. Okay?
Yes, I have a question. Is it on?
Is it on? Are these on? Guys, make sure all these mics are
Can you hear me?
on. I don't think so. Luke, is yours on? Your mic?
How's this? No.
Yes.
There it is.
All
There
right.
it is. This is a question that's important to me, and I've heard some other people express this before. I have never personally been downstairs because I can't do the stairs physically. I would love to be in the choir, but I can't do the stairs to get to the choir room to practice. So my question is there any plan to have an elevator instead of stairs anywhere in the building to get to the different levels that we have now?
We did discuss that, and unfortunately for an elevator, for the choir, for example, if we had an elevator that could get you to the choir, we'd have the problem of the steps coming down here. It is a concern. It was something we addressed. The youth, there was actually a drop-off from the parking lot that you can get straight to, but then if someone can't climb the stairs, they would have to go outside, in the weather, inclement weather, to be able to come up the sidewalk. It is a concern, but we would have to, with a building our size, we would have to have multiple elevators with multiple stops, and the expense would be tremendous. It was something we talked about, we prayed about, we looked at several different options. One of the things we discussed was on the multi-purpose center to have a walking track upstairs. Requires an elevator to do that. And if we had an elevator for the multi-purpose center, it wouldn't be close enough to the choir room. And I mean, if we could connect the two and we could make one elevator service the entire church, that would be ideal and probably worth it. But the way we were looking at it, we would take at least 3 elevators to maximize, in a circumstance like yours. But unfortunately, just at this time, I don't think that's in the budget. So.
Raise your hand if you have questions. Hold them high. There's someone else. Yes, over here.
John? Is there going to be about the same amount of floor space devoted to classrooms other than children?
That's a great question. I should have covered that. Classrooms, if you took the Bible study classrooms, there's no reason to stand up. If you took the Bible study classrooms right now and we reapportioned them to the new floor plan, we would end up with 3 additional, I would say 3 empty classrooms that wouldn't be used at this time for future growth. Now, as far as the square footage per classroom, we hadn't apportioned, my class would go here and your class would go here to there yet. But if you look at the sheer numbers of this is how many Bible study classrooms we're operating today and the future plans, we would end up with 3 additional. One thing that came up earlier, and we were having a conversation with someone, I don't remember who it was, is a couple of these classrooms, the adult classrooms, are designed where they're convertible. They can be a large classroom, or the divider can be pulled shut, and they can be 2 separate classrooms. So there's a little more flexibility in this plan if the need be to use them that way. Does that answer? Yeah.
All right. Hold your hands up. You have a question? Mr. Rudy, I think, and then Hayden up front after Rudy.
First of all, I'd like to thank the entire committee for their sacrifices of time, for what you've already accomplished putting this plan together. My question concerns the capital campaign and the line of credit. Am I understanding correctly that once the vote is taken and it is positive, that we will apply for a line of credit at that time?
Yes.
And the pledges will be taken up, whatever's pledged would be to pay for the line of credit. Is that Is that,
That's correct. And what the intention is to begin the process as far as finalizing drawings, making sure light switches are placed where they're, we don't have that detail yet. So upon the vote of yes, we'll have the architects go ahead and start getting to that level of detail on the current drawings. I would like to note, as of right now, there was a donation. One church member a while back donated a $50,000 donation for this project and has covered all expenses for where we are right now as far as the drawings are concerned. So if we get the vote of yes, we have the architects proceed with their drawings. It would probably be a month or two before they bill us for that, at which time we'll have the funds coming in. So we're trying to stay relevant, move the ball forward, get you guys, get some activity going, get some excitement for the construction. We do have some leftover funds from the sanctuary from years ago that can also be applied to this. So we're in a good spot as of right now to begin. And once we have the Victory Sunday and we start getting the pledges, we hope that will keep the ball moving. However, as I said, it's $4.29 million. This project's going to take a year and a half. It's a 3-year pledge, so there will be some debt that, when the job is done in a year and a half, the last bill is paid, we still have funds coming in to cover that. So there will be some debt, but fortunately for our church, we're a debt-free church. That's something to be proud of, and I think we can remain that way, and we can get it paid off really quickly. So we do plan to move forward right after the positive vote.
Let me just add a quick word to that, Mr. Rudy. I really appreciate the question, and it's a question I've asked, and I think all of us are asking. And Ben has said it really, really well. We are very keen to not wanting to go into injurious debt unnecessarily. We realize that a project of this size, touching as many areas as it's going to touch, is going to necessitate some degree of debt. But as Ben mentioned, I've asked the finance team to look at where we are, what we have in the bank, and all of these kinds of things. They're going to work on that in terms of what could we simply pay towards this, the pledges, incoming, challenging our church, and then I just want to make it clear to everyone that we will be watching the bills coming in, the pledges, money that is coming in. We will be watching all of that each step of the way. We will be monitoring that, being stewards of that, and having a very clear picture of where we are. I just want to say that because it's important to me that we not create the impression that we're going to run out, borrow $4.29 million, and it's rock and roll time around here, and we'll figure out how to pay for it later on. We're all very, very keen to the need to watch very carefully what's happening, and it will be monitored every step of the way. As Ben or Roger mentioned, this team will not disband after that vote. We're still on